Oh, yeah.
Call this meeting to order. It's the March 20th, 2017 Planning Commission meeting. Get a roll call.
Mr. Cox? Mr. Kozer?
Here.
Mr. Westbrooks?
Here.
Mr. Chiavone?
Here.
Mr. Koblenz?
All right, we have at least enough. First item is approval of the February 13th meeting minutes. We can do that with the three of us, I believe. Anybody have any comments or anything on those? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Make a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. First item, proposed logo replacement for Spectrum at 8385 Bavaria. Linda?
Yes.
I've seen you here before. Why don't you give us an overview of what's going on?
So around town, you'll see a lot of new vans around the Spectrum one, a lot of locations from going from Time Warner to the Spectrum. We've done many of these across the area. So this particular one, they're changing the monument from the brass-looking metal on the monument to a white aluminum with quarter-inch letters, acrylic letters. Same size, same place, same monument. The address is still intact there during the survey, so that should remain the same. And there are two double post ground signs. They're like a cut sign signs. They'll be painted the blue for the Spectrum. They'll have panels that will go over the existing signs exact. Trying to save money by not redoing the sign at all. So we are putting new faces over the existing, and we'll paint the remainder of the sign to match. So that's for two of them. And then we'll remove the existing door vinyls on the door and replace them with the Spectrum logo and then hours and such.
All right. Brian, you got some comments there?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just to, I guess, reiterate what the applicant said, it's basically a rebranding of the existing signage. All of it is in compliance in terms of area with the requirements outlined in 1179 of the Planning and Zoning Code. The only sort of real recommendation I had in my memo is relates to the panel on the existing ground sign. I do think that the gold backer looks better and it contrasts better with that existing brick as opposed to the white. And so I had recommended that that stay gold. Maintain the Spectrum but on a gold backer, and that was the only recommendation I had for the commission.
Is that anything you guys discussed? Is that
Most of the other locations, they are going to white background to be able to highlight the two blue shades. If we would want to recommend going with the gold, we could probably still use a material that has a gold. It doesn't have to be brass or anything like that. If there's an ACM composite material that would look that way. Be glad to go back to them if that's what is recommended here. But most of the other locations are the white background.
well, let's come back to that second. Anybody else have any comments? All right. What do you guys have any thoughts on that or any other thoughts on the signs?
The brass does look better, but this is not in the Western Reserve area or it's in an industrial area, so I don't have as much concern about that kind of.
I think a lot of the signs that they have throughout the rebranding, they've come up with a standard. They're trying to stick with the standard, maybe sizes and even shapes for these types of signs. Doesn't mean we couldn't make one for them, but most of the signs that come to me are already made, and we just do the install. Make the no problem, but I don't know how they would feel about that.
see, I don't have a problem with the white, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I can go either way. I don't know. I mean, I can see where the gold does a little nicer. but I can
Yeah, it's
understand they want
definitely
the system, but
matches the brick a lot better.
I think they're trying to keep the cost down. I'm seeing across the board here.
Well, if you use the same type of material, only just in a brass color, the cost would really be.
This is aluminum, this is a different, would be if we would want to go with something that looked like brass, it
Right.
would be a different material altogether.
Right.
It would not be aluminum.
We're just going about the color, not necessarily the
No,
material.
it would be a different material altogether.
it'd have to be to make that.
To make it.
I'm okay either way. Okay.
I'll go ahead and make that motion to approve as submitted.
I second.
All right, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Good to go. All right. Next is going to be a tree discussion, but we're going to push that to the end. So we're going to bring up the lot split for Faith Fellowship Church.
Share one.
Come on up. All right.
I'm Neil Brennan from Beatrice Development,
Okay.
and tonight we're asking for approval of a lot split of the church property so that transfer can be made. At the request of the city engineer, we have added easement areas, and we've added some of the physical features up on the property, the parking lot, and the building to show that there is no conflict with the code as far as setbacks are concerned. There's no need for us to go ECA. So it's a fairly simple thing once those things are shown. Parcel A will remain in the church's ownership, and parcel B will be developed as the subdivision.
Good. Brian, if you get some comments.
Sure. Hi, Mr. Brennan. How are you?
Good. You?
Good. Yeah, I've got a few comments relative to the two parcel sizes being proposed. The 116305C, which is the PUD section of the Planning and Zoning Code, does have some requirements for lot size, lot area, and the 41 roughly acre parcel more than complies with the code requirement, which is 25 acres for a PUD. The only thing I pointed out is that the parcel that will remain or be retained by Faith Fellowship Church is about a 10-acre parcel, and it's my understanding that parcel is also going to be characterized as a PUD on the map. That's always been my understanding, because if it stays as R1, you would have a 90-foot setback
Right.
requirement
Right.
to the R1 district. So I think when the applicant went through the process back in the late fall of 2016, that was noted, and the commission seemed to find that acceptable for that parcel to be PUD. So the only thing, though, is when that does occur, technically by an area standard, the 10-acre parcel site for the church is non-conforming to the area requirements. You know, I don't think that's a significant issue, just simply because it's all existing facilities. There really isn't much room to expand on the church property. They have a pretty good amount of facilities already on that site. But it just should be noted that from an area standard as a PUD, they will be non-conforming to the area requirements. The other thing is, I had pointed out as well as the engineer, just would like to see the existing easements, some of those features picked up on the survey. If I had my druthers, it'd be a little different than this. there'd be two sheets, one with the minor subdivision shown on sheet one, and a back sheet would show an overlay of the easements with the houses sort of shadowed of where the houses and the roads would lay out on the new lot, just to show that it's in compliance with the setbacks for the two parcels. Not 100% necessary, you show the church facilities, but it'd be nice to see some of those lots picked up
Did
on
you
there.
get the last drawing that came out on Friday? It does show the existing houses on the parcel.
Is that
Yeah, but that's.
on the church?
Yeah, the church.
Yeah, I'm referring to the future houses on the Northwoods
Oh, okay.
development. It'd be nice to see those shadowed, again, on a second sheet, stapled together for the record.
I mean, that certainly can be done because we have the preliminary drawing
Right.
already, so we'll be just making a second sheet showing.
Sure.
That's possible,
And the
yes.
only reason I think it's important to do that is just because we're dealing with a PUD, and everything it's a record set of drawings for the PUD. So somebody picks these up 5-10 years from now, it's easily determined what exactly was happening and all the requirements
In the
were met.
process.
Yeah, because it's, again, everything is, that PUD plat or plan that's gonna be the Bible for this site. It'd be good to have that Bible attached to show it to the lot split.
That can be added.
Yeah.
The intent with this was just to get the lot split so
Sure.
that we could go forward with the
Right.
sale and development.
Yeah.
A second sheet certainly can be done.
And from the standpoint of the technical requirements, I'm sure the engineer will talk about, but it's not an issue just for the minor subdivision. It's more for,
It's part of the PUD submittal rather than the lot split submittal.
yeah, and so I'm always leery. I just want to make sure it's all documented. It's a PUD, and this is the record set. Lot split conforms with the requirements, and there's a PUD plan behind it showing the lot split, and it meets the requirements. So, and I pointed out in my report, if the commission is okay with it, I don't see any reason why that would hold up this approval process. If they're okay with approving it tonight, that could be an administrative function that you just resubmit if the commission and the engineer agree.
Yeah, thanks, Chairman. Yeah, Brian, I would agree, we can review administratively such a secondary sheet. I think it's a good idea, actually, so I would recommend that's the way we go.
I think we actually have one that's going to be very close to the, blown up at a larger scale. We
Yeah, look at
have
that.
been working on the easement agreement with the church for the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's finally gotten down to now just the attorney penning the last sheets out. But this was one of the exhibits, and I think this is actually what the planner's talking about, Brian, if you take a look at that.
Yeah, it might be.
There's a
I think it
second
is,
sheet. I think that
that's along the lines of what we're talking about, certainly.
Yeah.
that's really what you're,
Yeah, the only thing I'd say add to this is show that dimension on the plat between sublots 25 and 65. So you can document clearly that you're meeting the setback requirements, so we're not creating a non-conforming situation where you have to come back and try to get a variance.
right.
Yeah.
Should be.
But yeah, I mean, in general, that's. Yeah, and then the only other thing, Mr. Chairman, if I could add, it'd be nice for this commission to acknowledge that this property, this Northwoods and the church site will be a PUD, and request that that be documented on your official zoning map. Again, 10 years down the line, somebody picks up the zoning map and looks at either of these sites and says, you know, what are they zoned? Right now, both show R1 on the official zoning map. and somehow it's, again, it's gonna be a PUD, so
So
whether
that-
it's shown as an overlay or something.
So that should be noted on here, and then you're saying?
I would, again, just want to cover, cross the Ts, dot the Is, and so if somebody picks this thing up 10 years, 5 years, 15 years down the line, and they look at what's on the ground and what the map says, they would be two different things.
Yeah.
And so I'd be, if I were looking at it, coming in as a planner, scratching my head saying, what's going on here? This isn't exactly, your map shows R1, but you're clearly not an R1 density or development.
Somewhere on the map, I guess you could have a thing that's a conditional a PUD conditional use, and refer to legislation.
Yeah, that's what I would do that.
That's something you can put on there,
Well, no, on your zoning map.
on the zoning.
It'd be, yeah, probably the engineer would, I'm assuming you maintain a map for the city.
Yeah, the building department does.
Yeah, so whoever, just note, I just strongly suggest that that be noted and recognized in the minutes.
Okay. Joanna, you had other comments earlier, but you've more or less been taken care of. Talk
Yeah.
about as much as you want, or a little.
Sure, yeah, no, I'll just mention a few things. Yeah, that's okay. Can I talk now? I reviewed the updated plat that was submitted on, it's dated 3/16. In general, I think it's good. It certainly aligns with the PUD that was previously approved by this commission, which is really what we're looking for, so that's good. From a surveyor's point of view, it's definitely acceptable. The math works. Definitely an acceptable plat, no question about that. I'm glad that we've shown the buildings and the parking and the associated setbacks. We've shown the ponds. So we acknowledge that the ponds are there and that they straddle the property lines. And you've even gone so far as to add the note at the bottom of the plat there, stating as such and leaving a blank for the future easement document reception number to be written in, so I think that's good. The owner has signed, so he's obviously in acceptance of this lot split. So from my point of view, this is acceptable. I'd recommend the commission accept it.
Anybody else have any thoughts? What about you guys? What do you think? Good. Okay. I guess if you could make sure in the minutes that what Brian was talking about with zoning, the zoning map and noting that on there, if that could be, make sure that that is included in the minutes, if you could do that.
As far as the other things that we've submitted, the HOA documents and the architectural renderings, is there anything additional that needs to be done with that?
Good question. I guess, yeah, so these are the latest, probably should have these reviewed. The HOA, has there been any additional submissions on the HOA, or is it just those original ones, or have you been working with Mayor on those, or? Not sure.
You have what's been submitted, there's been nothing changed.
Nothing official change, okay. Well, at a minimum, I know these we'll have to get these reviewed. Most likely that'll be with the mayor. But if you, I don't know if you guys looked at these at all and had any thoughts.
I just have a little bit. Didn't have any problem.
Okay. So I guess will still be something to get those, both of those approved. I assume, will that be part of final? What did we approve last time? I'm trying to remember. Do you remember?
I think you approved a conditional zoning certificate at some point
Yes.
in the late 2016, maybe. They've been back a this year. January, February of this year, I don't think. Well, you guys might know best. Have you been back this year?
Brian, I think they were on the January meeting.
I
January?
think that was in January.
Yeah, and I think you were reviewed and approved preliminary plan.
We still need a construction.
So they need construction plans.
Yeah,
Not
it-
received the elevations.
Yeah, the elevation, if I remember correctly, the elevations in the HOA documents were not approved, but the rest of the PUD
Had been.
and Phase 1 of the PUD were approved at that point.
So
That's right, yeah.
I guess the next question then is getting those two items approved. Is that back to planning commission, or is it administratively, or?
So the,
Planning commission, I suppose if we're satisfied with what we're seeing, we could. Just a quick question on that. Are all the units going to be basically a variation of this color? You showed us a lot of elevations, but I don't see any color renditions except for this one.
Right. I mean, our color sequences will be neutral, a variation of neutral tones. We can certainly supply you guys with what we project those to be, but there'll be a variety of those available to the homeowner. Typically anywhere from 10 to 20 selections that vary modestly between each.
we have it.
Otherwise, I think previous meetings that have taken course with the mayor, et cetera, we've spoken to that feedback. So I was hopeful to get some guidance from you guys this evening. Your position on that.
We didn't receive any feedback from the mayor on this or the HOA documents. I'd like to get something from him before we, personally, I think I'd like to get something back, particularly on the documents. Because I know he was looking through those. Specifically, I know he had comments on these before, that's why you resubmitted. Get his thoughts on that before we make a final approval. Maybe it might be worth, given the palette of colors that would be available, just one less question to be asked, so you don't get held up in additional meetings. And maybe by the next one, next meeting, we could get this on the agenda to approve those two things if they're in good enough shape. You guys have any different thoughts?
No, I think that was.
That's okay with you guys. All right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Just, the only thing, the architectural drawings, floor plans, elevation, and building materials, all are to be documented on the general development plan again, because the PUD, the general development plan is your Bible. It's telling you what's being built, so whatever ultimately is approved by the commission, mayor and the commission, you should attach it to the general development plan. So if somebody picks that thing up later, they know what was approved by the city.
And we haven't documented that at all so far, right? That's still needs to be created.
I mean, I think that they probably have, they have all the data. It's under 116305, letter I. So I think the applicant has all the data. Maybe they could just formally submit that plan, because the preliminary plan pretty much documented the general development plan. So maybe when they submit their final, it could be the general development plan / final plan and document everything, attach landscaping, architecture, the whole enchilada to that plan set for the record copy for the PUD.
Okay. So maybe that's the final piece that needs to be.
The final, yes.
And maybe we could make contact with the mayor, see if he's had any comments on these last two pieces, which is this and the HOA documents.
So really what we've got left are those two pieces, plus final engineering drawings for phase one, which would certainly go into
the engineering.
all of that together puts at least the first phase of the plan. Second set of engineering drawings, and the third set then would be added to that, and that would be your whole development plan for
Does that sound?
the PUD. Is that a summary?
Yeah, I mean, the general development plan should capture everything up front
Mhm.
and show your phasing. It doesn't, you don't necessarily need the construction plans collated into the general development plan according to the code.
Yeah, you mean the detailed engineering
Yeah,
plan?
none of
Yeah,
that.
the detailed engineering plans, your construction set of improvement plans, I don't think need to be a part of the general development plan, but certainly your PUD, your phasing, building elevations, HOA documents, and
Right.
if I'm missing anything else.
Preliminary schematic.
A preliminary schematic, sure, exactly, this type of document, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the detailed plans is a separate path for that approval.
I'll contact the mayor about those two and ask him to get you any comments or if there's anything else that needs to be done with that. So is that anything else? We'll make a motion.
I know you took some notes on
About the second.
part that needs to be
Yes.
included in the motion, or?
Yeah, so I guess we can make a motion to approve the lot split with the addition of the second sheet that shows the subdivision documented for administrative review. Is that? And I guess, yeah, I think that's it. I'll second that.
I'll second it.
All right. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Should we good to go? Just get that plan into them, we'll take a look at it, it's good.
We could sign off and we can get this. This goes back to council, doesn't it?
The lot split plat?
Yes.
No, it only requires signatures from the planning commission chairman and the engineer.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Last thing on the agenda is Macedonia tree discussion. And you are who? Get your name and your security number.
Kent Westbrook. How you guys doing?
Good.
With the new guidelines of not having an arborist, we're required to have 6 meetings a year. We do have a certified arborist now, just took the test and passed last week. Yeah. So find out that'll be narrowed back down to 2 a year. Currently working on our plans. We have 5 developments that we're looking at hitting this year with tree planting for new, no replacements. And we're going to line them up tomorrow.
Okay. So somebody that was already on staff is now?
Yes.
Okay, that's nice.
He went out, got his applicator license, and we'll see how much his arborist is to do it. Passed as well. So
Good.
we'll see how the guidelines change on that. But for next meeting, depending on what it is, we'll have a report of what developments we're going to be doing
Okay.
and tree count. Right now, there's 5 developments that we have to finish up. So,
Okay.
and we're going to show within next year, within 2 years, finishing them all. Splitting it this year, half of them, and we'll have
It's getting all the
new
development,
plantings,
plantings.
new plantings, only no
Not going back
replacements.
and-
No, not at this time. Just want to focus on the ones that people who are paid for.
Yeah, let's get their first ones in
Right.
before you start.
Would be fair to replace the ones they haven't gotten there yet. Give them a chance to have a replacement.
Any other exciting things in the world of trees? I mean, diseases or anything coming through?
And we're still there.
Still there, same one?
Actually, somebody called today and asked if they can bring their brush to our pile that has the ash board. And I thank them for letting us know that 90% of that pile is probably due to the ash board anyhow. So, you know, what we use for mulching now. No, nothing new yet. Let's hope not.
Anybody know if we have to do any kind of motion with this? I can't remember if we've done that in the past. No, or just the fact that you have it in the minutes that you
Happy
can't
to miss
report
that
it to us.
discussion. Yeah, have a discussion.
Okay. All right. Any other business? Anything else? No? All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor? Aye. I
look at
I guess.
all your.
Yeah, you did, and stole all the thunder.